Welcome to my top 5 video games of 2021. So this will all be like games that I played this year, that came out this year in 2021, because I've gone back to replay a bunch of games. So we're starting at number 5. This is something I literally just finished this week. It is Far Cry 6. So the 6th entry into this, actually not the 6th entry, because they've had some like side titles that weren't like a number. But this is a great game. So for this game, because like usually with these Far Cry games, they have this like antagonist. I think it started with Far Cry 3, because that's my actual first entry into these games, where they have this big antagonist that's really like on the poster as well too, because you don't usually see your character. This game was the first time where you could go third person and actually look at your character, but you don't usually see them, so the antagonist is more who you're looking at, and it's usually like a really good voice actor as well too. So Voss was the bad guy for Far Cry 3 and was a really good bad guy. For this game we have Giancarlo Esposito, brilliant actor. You know him from Breaking Bad. He was also on The Boys. He's also in Mandalorian. He's just he's very intense, and he's a really good bad guy. He's actually like really scary and intense. In this game it translates, and the only complaint is I wish he was in it a little bit more in the game, but also it gave like an amazing performance, and hopefully he does more video games as well too. Just I can't talk about how amazing he is enough. But also too, like the main actress for Danny as well too, so the main character, because you could choose to play like a female or a male version of the same character. So I chose the female because she was in the advertisement as well too. So it was just like, oh yeah, let me play as Danny because she's also dope. And one of the features that I really like about this game as well too is because you'll listen to the radio as you're playing, because it takes place in Cuba, and she'll sing to some of the songs. So like as you're driving around, she'll sing along, and it's just like it's a little thing that goes a long way, and it's really cool. There were some changes that they did make that I didn't like though. Like for example, because like the bow and arrow is my weapon in that game. Like I always use a bow and arrow, and usually you'd be able to have like an explosive arrow or like an arrow with a different attachments and be able to switch it. But they changed like the customization with the weapon, so I would have to choose if I want like just a regular arrow or an explosion arrow, so I couldn't switch like on the fly, because you have to go to like this work desk to like change them or whatever. So that's the only thing, one of the only things that I didn't like in 5, because 5 I didn't really like the story for, but there was this feature where your dog, like your companion, would hop in the car with you. So like when you get the car companion, because I thought they said somewhere where you couldn't happen. I don't know if they did an update to add it. But then when I saw the dog in the car, I wish because you get a panther as well too. I wish the panther could be in the car with you, but I guess panthers can't fit in cars. But yeah, that's a fun game. Open world. It's just fun. It's like, I don't think it's like too different, but it's what you like about those series, so it's good coming back. Number 4 is Halo Infinite. So Halo came back. I've more so played the multiplayer, and it's just fun getting back into Halo, even though I die all the time and I'm not the greatest, even though I think I'm good, but I'm not the greatest. And as we know, we've talked about it before, how Ricky always yells, and so that's been a joy to have back a little bit. Not as crazy, but a little bit. But I just started the campaign literally last night, and it's really dope. So I haven't finished it, so I guess I'm talking about a game that I haven't finished, but it's been really dope so far, and it seems like the story's gonna be really wild, and it's open world for the first time for a Halo game. So I just got to the point where you're open world, and it's just like intense, and I'm just really excited to see where the story goes. So that's number 4, Halo Infinite. And then number 3 is something that I was really happy was really good, because it's the same publisher, so Square Enix again, as Marvel Avengers. So the same publisher as Marvel Avengers, but this is Guardians of the Galaxy. Now this game, people were kind of like worried because it's a single player game, but it's with the team. So you just play as Peter Quill, aka Star-Lord. So people were nervous because it was just a single player. Why would you call it Guardians of the Galaxy if you're just playing Star-Lord? But I really liked, after playing the game through, what they did, because even in the movies as well too, he's the one to easily most connect to, because he's not an alien, right? Like he's half. So playing through as him, the writing is great, like it's funny. You get to control the other characters, so they have special moves that you get to control in combat and everything. You get to do like this team huddle thing, so if you answer it correctly, then you get like music playing. The music in it's really dope. It's a big surprise, and I really enjoyed it. I'm so happy that it was good, because we know Marvel and Avengers is a shit show, and we'll talk about that more later. Guardians of the Galaxy, really dope game. And then number 2 is Ratchet and Clank Rift Apart. And I've never actually played a Ratchet and Clank game. So before this game came out, because I saw it and it looked insane, because you literally go through rifts. So you go through different maps and are pulled through at certain times and teleport all over the map. It looks beautiful. Insomniac right now is literally the GOAT developer, because they do the Spider-Man games. So they did Spider-Man PS4 and then the Spider-Man Miles Morales game. And then they do other games as well too. They're slipping my mind. But they do obviously all the Ratchet and Clank games. This game looks so beautiful. And the weapon choices are really lit and everything. The way the Ratchet and then the female version, like his alternate universe version, Rivet moves are insane. So like she's a new, I think she came in the first time in these games as well too. So actually like before this game came out, because I was like, it looked crazy from like the gameplay they showed and the graphics looked insane. And it's also like a PS5 only, so that it's where they could push and you really use the system. I played like the 2016 Ratchet and Clank just to like play a Ratchet and Clank game and really enjoyed that as well too. But yeah, Ratchet and Clank Rift Apart is my number 2 because it's just a really solid, dope game. And then number 1. So my number 1 game is a big surprise for me because I wasn't interested in this game at first. Like I saw a little bit of the gameplay and I was like, I don't know if I'm gonna like it. The studio here, they did like the Dishonored games as well too. So it's kind of the same idea where it's first person and you have weapons, but you're an assassin, you can move around and your decisions affected like the town and everything. There was multiple decisions at the end. But this game, Deathloop, it's just insane. I don't want to say too much because I don't want to spoil because I want people to play it. But basically you're caught in a loop, you keep dying and replaying this day over and over again. And you're trying to break the loop basically and learn the story as you progress. So at first is that there's a lot that you're doing because there's a lot you have to keep track of and everything because you're basically keeping track of the story to move through it and learning how to kill, because the way you get out of the loop is basically, which is not a spoiler because it's in the trailer, is you have to kill these 8 different people in one shot, in one day basically to get out the loop. So you have to do like a perfect run basically. So people could speed run it and do it fast if you know how to do it. But like if you're learning the story, you spend a lot of time in the same map. So I thought also too, because it was a loop, it would be boring because you're basically going to these same 4 maps at different times of day. So yeah, it's a really good game, and I also like that it's dope that it's black leads. So both the lead characters, so one of the people that you're fighting that keeps coming to try to kill you, her name is Juliana. Black as well too, and then the main character as well too. So yeah, I think it's really dope that the lead characters are black. So Colt, the main character that you're playing throughout the whole story and you go through the story with, and then Juliana, who's killing you all the time. So it's a really cool, interesting, and I like the gameplay as well too. The one thing I'll say is that it can be like, especially when you get a lot more powers, you get a lot of you get powers and weapons. There's a lot of lit weapons as well too. Like there's one, for example, where because you could dual wield in this game. So the gun is either dual wield or you could put it together so it's like two-handed, and it shoots differently as well too. Like once you do that, and there's like shotguns that change the way they shoot as well too. So a bunch of dope things and powers as well too, where you could teleport, turn invisible, mind control people, and everything like that as well too. So I didn't think I would enjoy it, but then I saw the scores because it was getting like 10s, and I was just like, okay, I'll buy it. Like once I saw the scores and everything, and I really enjoyed it. It was my favorite game this year, and really dope. So those are my top 5 games. And there's one game, you know, that I always got to mention, and I've mentioned it a few times, either on the podcast or different videos that we've done. It's Marvel's Avengers. Now, to be fair, I put a lot of hours in this game. We put a lot of hours, but it's just, I don't know. I've never seen something that's just fucked up so many times and just continues to mess up. Like, I don't think, and I know it's a hard job, and I'm not trying to shit talk anybody, and I don't think it's actually the developers' fault anyways too. I think it's more of like the business decisions behind the scenes and the higher ups. But I just don't know why they can't. This game is still buggy to this point, where like they just released the raid, where some people can't even get through it because it's still buggy, and other things like that. And it's just like, we love these characters. I just want the game to be good, but let's charge $20 because I think it's $20 for skins. I've never bought any skin and never will, but like $20 for skins, one skin. Like for a character, just one is $20. So if you're trying to buy for the whole team, because it's 9 characters now, what is that? Do the math, Ricky. One skin each, $180. That's nuts. That's insane. Yes, there's bundles and deals, but it seems like they more focus on the skins rather than fixing what's wrong with the game, like bug-wise.
What's going on? What the fuck? Avengers!
We're actually putting content that's enjoyable to go back to instead of feeling like a grind where you're grinding for nothing. Those are my top 5 video games of this year. Do you agree? What were your top 5 video games that you played this year? There's still a few games that came out this year that I'm still gonna go play. And make sure you hit the like button, subscribe, comment, share, hit the notification bell. Peace out, stay safe, Happy New Year, bye.